Hey, before we get in this episode, can you do us a favor? Will you go ahead and subscribe to the channel?
Will you ring that notification bell?
And if you would, give this video a like. Well, enough of that mumbo jumbo. Let's get to the episode.
Let's talk developmentally speaking, glow up, and connecting through wrestling.
Hey everybody, I'm Morty.
And I'm Brian.
And on today's episode of Developmentally Speaking Presents Glow Up, we have Lightning. Lightning, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Where you guys are? You said you're out of Indiana, right?
We are. We're out of Southern Indiana.
Okay,
yes.
good. Yeah.
Yep. We,
I am presently in California, Southern California, near Universal Studios in Hollywood Universal Studios, which is actually closer to Burbank. So, FYI.
Nice. Yeah, we are from Seymour, Indiana.
If you know who John Mellencamp
If you know who John Mellencamp is, the song "Small Town."
Yes.
The song "Small Town" is about our town. So, yeah. So
That's cool.
that's our cool little nifty thing. We're gonna just start off the way we start off every episode. Is what got you into wrestling?
Oh God, it was a sheer accident. I was training this. I'm going to go way back. Other people don't. I give them a short version. I was training this guy in the gym. I was working for Ray and Mike Menzer, who had a gym in Redondo Beach, which is where I grew up. And there was this guy who was on a crew working, and he came into the gym to be trained. So I was his trainer, and of course I'm like, oh, what do you do? What are you up to? You know, I chit chat in between making him pump iron or whatever. And he said that he worked in the movie industry, and I always was interested in that. But where I grew up in my family, no contact with anybody in that industry. So to me, it was like the moon, you know. I'm going to work on the moon. I don't know how to get there, you know. So I said I was interested in that, but I have no idea. And he said, well, you should do this. And he starts telling me all this stuff. And I go, wait. It's like, you got to treat it, for me, you got to, like lifting weights. I'm not going to throw you over there trying to push 1 billion pounds. I want to know what to do. So he's like, okay, you got to get a Dramalog. Dramalog is a magazine that had listings, and you got to take an acting class. He starts telling me all this stuff because I said just one step at a time. And I just did whatever he said, which led me to basic acting classes, which I barely had started, but I was then cut to me watching Glow on TV because it came on. My boyfriend and I were in my parents' garage watching the first season, I assume, of Glow, and he's all, check this show out, you know. So I'm watching this show and I'm telling him this is stupid, and he's right. He starts laughing at me. He's like, you're just jealous. I go, what do you mean I'm jealous? He's like, you're just jealous that they're on TV and you're not. I'm like, nuh-uh. He's all, So we're back and forth. He got like a brother and sister. Got me so freaking mad, you know. The next week, show comes back on the air again. And same thing. Only now I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to try to watch this stupid show because he likes it, right? So I'm watching, and I think the wrestling, what they're doing that's cool. I can do that because that was the way I always was. Like tumbly, jump out of the tree, jump off a roof, hanging out with the guys, tomboy. And I said it out loud. I said, I can do that. And he starts laughing at me again. I go, what? He's all, they kick your ass. I'm like, no. He's like, So he got me so angry. But at the end of the show, they actually had a tag that they were looking for new girls. You think you got the stuff to be a Glow girl? Send your stuff to this address. So I took a couple photos, you know, flexing and faked a resume and mailed it to him because at this point, the only thing I had done was right,
I love it.
right. So, yeah. So at this point, I only had that one guy that was helping me, and he had been working on this this movie, this horror movie called Cannibal Hookers. And he brought me in to be a background cannibal hooker. You know,
I feel like I've actually
we're like ripping the
heard
guts
this.
out of some guy on the table. And I find out that Sheila Best is working on it. I met her, but I didn't even really make the connection to Glow until later after a couple of auditions and stuff, because they called me in. And I had met Sheila, and also that guy and his production company was working on something with wrestling, and something Three Bears Productions or something, and they brought me in for an audition to be a round girl or something, or no, valet for wrestling. And I go there and I actually meet Reggie Bennett, and the girl her wrestling name in pro was Olympia, but she was also a Glow girl as Corporal Kelly. So I knew none of this. So Reggie and Corporal are pounding in the ring, both big girls, you know, and I'm watching them while I'm talking to these guys about being a valet, and they're like, you think you'd want to do this stuff here, you know, the wrestling? And I'm looking at it, and they're like killing each other in the ring, and it's loud. The ring's like, you know, set up to you know, right to make all that heavy noise. And I'm like, no, I don't think so, because I'm in like a little mini dress and like 6-inch heels, trying to be taller, you know, and thinking, God, that's like violent, you know, like I did kick my ass, basically, is what I was thinking at the time, which I didn't even connect it. This is before the Glow thing. And then, of course, I go on the auditions, and they sent me, and I met them like 2 or 3 times. I went on what I thought was another audition, but it was just publicity stunt. I was at a boxing ring, and I met Steve Blantz there. I don't know if you know Steve is. Steve is one of the writers, and then they had 3 of the Glow girls up there, and they were just asking us questions. You know, what makes you think you got the stuff to be a Glow girl? But this was like a total media circus. There were news vans and stuff from everywhere, and my I even saw Angeline. Is that her name? The one in the pink Cadillac, the older girl with the hair, and she was on the posters. They just did a movie about her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's right.
You know, is it Angeline, or she's just an older woman who was on everything.
I've drawn a blank right now. But
She was she's like, you know, like 60 years old, standing there next to me auditioning for Glow. I'm like, what the? Okay, whatever.
Wow.
Right. And then I met Steve, talked to him for a minute. I remember meeting him, and anybody else I met, I didn't remember. But then it was just nothing, dead air. Nobody talked to me for months. And then all of a sudden, I just figured, I guess I didn't get the job, you know. I mean, I did, you know, I was kind of bummed. And then they called and said, we're going to Vegas, and we're going to audition you in the ring. So that's how I got to Glow. And then I just, when I was in the ring over there, I was kind of like a little bit about what Jeannie said, Hollywood said, if you have ever heard her or you did interview with her. But there must have been, you know, 80 girls there. It was 1987, and it was the apartment. Well, we met at the Riviera, and then we went over to the apartments, and there were 80-something girls there. They just kept driving girls over. And then they had this speech, you know, blah, blah, blah. We're going to start training first thing in the morning. And then they gave us apartments, like, you know, just, you guys, these are the apartments, and assigned us to these apartments. They piled us all up in these apartments for the night. And there was no bed in my apartment. I was on the floor. I mean, there wasn't enough beds, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And I just pulled the cushions off the couch and slept on the floor. with a jacket. I was freezing. I didn't have a blanket. I had a wool coat. They situated it the next day, but we all went to the ring, and we were standing around the ring. We were like this, like 1, 2, 3, like back to back around the ring, like almost 3 laps of people. I was right up against the ropes because I was little ones up against the ropes. The taller ones were wrapped around behind us. And then they just started the training, and then they just started picking people off. There was 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the afternoon. We had 8 hours a day, 6 days a week in a ring. They were trying to cram in basically what 3 years of ring training would to make a decent wrestler.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, sorry. Blah blah blah.
No, it's very, very interesting stuff. Like, basically, it was a tenacious weeding out process, is what it sounded like to me, where they were.
Oh yeah, people were breaking stuff. You know, broken collarbone. I saw a girl break her arm, blow out her collarbone. Another one. That was the heaviest ones right there. The heaviest ones, like the broken collarbone, was just creepy. And we're all sitting there, and we're watching girls drop like flies. You know, they get concussions, they're leaving. They're just we'd come back every session, we'd come back, and there'd be like a couple less girls. And it was like, cool, you know, they just bailed. Why'd they bail? You know, I didn't get why some of them bailed. And I probably fear, and I stuck it out because I just kept thinking, as long as I'm standing and I'm not like broken, like nothing's broken, I'm going to keep going, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
But it was, on one hand, some girl breaks her collarbone in front of you, and you're thinking, oh, fuck, she broke her collarbone. And then you're thinking, yeah, yes, that means there's, you know, one less girl here. You know, you're like happy and going, oh shit. And then you're, on the other hand, you're thinking, fuck, I got to do that next. I'm next in the ring. You know, crap, now I got to do the move that she broke her collarbone on, you know? So it's like...
That can be nerve-wracking for sure. My God. Yeah, I can understand that.
So intense. So wound, like, just wound up, you know? Or like on. I call it being on. And you're on like you're not off at all. Except for whatever hours of sleep you're getting is the only rest you were getting. You know, very stressful. 6 days a week like that.
Wow.
You know, 8 hours. Normal training is like, what, 2 or 3 hours, 3 days a week, maybe?
So I guess the next question would be, what'd your boyfriend think? Since, you know, he said you couldn't do it, and you wouldn't be able to do it.
Oh yeah. He was totally happy for me, and also pissed at me at the same time. He just kept flipping like a coin. He likes like he was bipolar. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Why are you in Vegas? You need to be back here in LA with me. You know, it's like, I was getting pulled from 2 different ends because I was not going to quit. I wanted to be there. And as much as I wanted to make him happy, I was not going to, you know, so basically I was flying back on Saturday night, like midnight or whatever, flying back here, spending Sunday with them, and then on Monday morning flying back to Vegas. Bam, 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 wasting money to go back and forth.
Man, that's rough.
You know, just to, yeah, it was stressful. You know, and then when we were together, it was like, I love you, I hate you. It was like this same thing, like,
That's
you're like totally like glad you're back together for that day, but then a total stress monster, you know. And that went on for about 9 months while we were shooting season 3 and 4. I shot all of season 3, all of season 4, and the pay-per-view we did in 91. I actually got kicked out of Glow at the end of everything. The whole time I was trying not to get kicked out because girls are getting kicked out for stupid reasons, you know. Even my tag partner Thunderbolt got kicked out because she was partying the night before. We were supposed to be doing promos. We were going to be at, I think, the Mac Center in Houston, Texas. and we were doing the lead up to that. We were 1 week at the NAPTI convention. Every day we had to be there. She was so hung over the next morning.
Oh no.
Her and I think Sally, because her and Sally came together, argued with the director, Matt Simber, and then got kicked out.
Man.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so at that point in time, so your tag team partner Thunderbolt, with her being gone, getting kicked out, did you see that as, oh no, what are they going to do with me, or did you see it as an opportunity to you know?
I really thought we made it. I loved our tag. We were like little bookends. You know, we worked good in the ring. It was a good team. You know, but she just had to fight with him, and she was outspoken, cute as a button, and very outspoken. And she wouldn't. And me, I was whatever you want me to do. You know, I was more like go along with the program, you know, and try to do my best. They wanted me to run around like lightning and be like, I'm lightning, bang, zoom, zap. You know, I would be that. And she was like, you know, she was like,
It's kind of like us if we were a tag team. I'm the outspoken one.
When we were shooting, we were fine, but outside of Glow, she didn't want to, because they were demanding us to like run around. Like, you've got to come dressed in character, you know, not in your outfits, but I had red tights and I'd wear green tops, you know, and she'd look at me like you're embarrassing me dressed in character outside the whole Glow thing.
Right.
But, you know, and I do understand where she was coming from too, because it was silly. We'd show up to places and nobody even noticed that. It's like, oh, the Glow Girls are here. You know, they were trying to do this united thing. I know why they were doing that, but in certain situations, it wasn't. You know, she was right. You know, and what are you going to do? You know, I was just going with the program, just because I didn't want to. Because girls were getting kicked out, and I didn't want to get kicked out. I wanted to make it to the end of the 2 seasons. You know. I wanted to make sure my butt was on air.
I find it funny because if you watch every person we've talked to about this, they were very, very serious about kayfabe, and kayfabe.
Oh yeah, it was a big kayfabe thing.
Because you know kayfabe was still alive up until about what, 97, but it's funny to me because when you watch Glow. Yeah, the kayfabe was alive, but it has, the reason it has a cult following is because it was campy. There was, you know, that there was this where they did raps and all this stuff, and then I'm like, the kayfabe aspect of that is what made it so good. Is because even though it was campy and lighthearted, like the rapping and stuff, people believed it was real because y'all kept character, and that's beautiful to me. You know, that's why. I went all in. It was really hard. That's another thing I understood with how Thunderbolt felt, because with kayfabing, and we're superheroes, and we came out of the comic book pages. Yes.
Very hard to kayfabe that you are a cartoon. You know.
Right, but she did, right? You know, it's.
Oh yeah, I lock, stock, and barrel.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. Like, you talk about WWF superstars in '93, '94 with Duke the Dumpster Droese and the Mountie and all these gimmicks that are just not realistic at all. But people believed them because outside they kept their character, and that's.
You're in, Lux. That's one thing I miss about the newer wrestling stuff that's going on is everybody's interchangeable. You know, and they're doing that on purpose, of course, so that nobody becomes a Rock or a Hulk Hogan. You know, the characters are so
over the top,
alive. Yeah, and then people want them for other stuff, and you find out outside the wrestling world what the money is on TV shows, and you know, I mean, right now a daily on a TV show is over $1,000 for 8 hours, and that's the low pay, you know.
Wow.
So they were making bank outside, and it to somebody like uh, the WWE's, the WWF, whatever, WCW, they want to control their stars. They don't want their stars to step out. Even Glow didn't want us to step out. There were tons of offers that we never even found out about. That, and we found out later that they wouldn't, tell us. In fact, I was told from an actor who they had a whole gimmick. They wanted Fiji to star in a dream segment with all us Glow girls, at the wedding, and they were going to pay us, but Glow, or the people who ran Glow, they wanted them to pay. They wanted the TV show to pay Glow, so Glow would just pay us the crappy money that they had us under contract for.
Wow.
So, yeah, so they wouldn't, because it's a SAG, it's Screen Actors Guild. They would have Taft-Hartley'd us and then paid for us to be in SAG and then pay us SAG money to do this. But they wanted to middleman us being on the show. I don't know what, it had nothing to do with the money. It had to do with controlling or us not knowing what was out there,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
We knew, the more we knew, the more they'd lose their
Right.
stars.
That's what
right?
Hollywood had said, is you guys didn't receive your fan mail, or they didn't want you guys to know how popular you really were, basically.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's basically it. I didn't even know Hollywood was going down to the office and picking up mail. She actually gave me, she found some Thunderbolt and Lightning mail, and gave me like a handful of letters that I know. They never gave us our letters. Only letters I ever got was ones that she pulled because me and her were friends. She said, I'll get some of these for
Wow.
Thunder and Lightning,
Well, I mean, that's kind
Anyway.
of what this show is for even though you didn't get the recognition it felt like back then. I mean, here we are in 2022, and we have a show called Glow Up that's based primarily off of Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, and the reason we did it is so that people know. I mean, we know that it's a cult that has a cult following, but we want more people to see what pioneers of the business you and everybody else were. So that's why we're doing this, and we really do.
Glow, the fact that I'm even sitting here, whatever anybody has to say bad about Glow, there's all this great stuff, it was so much fun, being there and working with working with the director, working with that many girls I consider sisters almost. It's really weird.
Mhm.
Even the Glow girls that were in season 1 and 2 when I wasn't there, I met the ones that I met afterwards. There was like an instant connection. Like, I know you, you know me. It's like it was really weird. It was like we were there together or something. I don't know how to explain it,
Mhm.
but this thing, this connection, and Glow led to all kinds of other great stuff. I started working with this guy doing circus bareback riding, and I started running into stunt people, and I started doing stunt work, and I've been doing stunt work ever since. I still do stunt work. I still set foot in the ring. Hollywood and I are a couple of there's just a couple of us that'll still get into the ring and work a match. And, it's kind of cool, that it's just like a stepping stone. Glow is a stepping stone for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Although for getting agents and from an acting point of view, you're still from scratch. You still had to go in and get your work because Glow at that time was not impressive to casting agents as actors,
Right.
There were some really great actors in Glow too that were insane. My favorites were the housewives, and also they were the heavy metal sisters. They were just insanely
I
talented.
talked about them with Hollywood, right? Yeah, I did. I was talking about that. About the
The
sisters.
first season of Glow, the girls were, I think they were more trained as actors in season 3 and 4. Season 3 and 4, the cat was already out of the bag, so you weren't just getting girls trying to be actors. You were getting everybody who was, they were wrestling fans. They want to be in the ring. Now you're getting people who are marks trying to, be in Glow. So I was trying to be an actress. That's what led me to Glow. And a handful of the girls from 3 and 4 were also, and then you had the girls that were there that were left over from 1 and 2, which I was grateful for, because they helped lead our way. Like what to be expected, of us, and to come up to a level to come up to.
Yeah, absolutely. So if there was, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, and I led the pro wrestling. I went pro after Glow too. I ended up being trained by multiple trainers. I met Mondo Guerrero because he trained the original set, but he didn't train us. We were trained by Nanuchka. I was trained by Nanuchka and Debbie Debutant. And then I was incompletely trained because when I started over at LPWA, they were going to send me to school back east for a few months to catch up with all the other girls, but then they never did it. They just threw me into the fire, so to speak.
Yeah.
And some of the girls were trying to help me on the side, but the one that really finished off my training was Sue Sexton. Phenomenal trainer, phenomenal wrestler.
Well, I think with that we
You're
have one.
speechless. You like Sue Sexton too.
We have. Sorry, I got a
Yes.
phone call. I got a little sidetracked there for a second. I do apologize, but I do have one last thing before we get out of here. I would really, if you had any advice for anybody coming up in the business, what would it be?
It's okay to be a really good technician in the ring, a flyer, be all around, be a base, be a flyer, be a technician, which is what I had to be. If you're little, then do everything you can to make yourself as powerful as possible. There you go.
There you go.
Get the biceps going. Get the ability to pick people up. Use your legs when you're picking people up. I used to use leverage, a lot of leverage and stuff, because everybody's bigger. I'm like just under 5 feet, a hair under 5 feet. And when I was in Glow, I was 96 pounds. So I actually had to pound a lot of weights, train outside of the ring, not just in the ring. And your character is a big deal. You do not have to throw everything in the kitchen sink into your wrestling moves in one match. A lot of newbies do that. And Green Girls, they've got like all this stuff in their arsenal, and they think they have to give it all in one match. Don't do that. It's about connecting with the audience and connecting with who your character is, as much as odd it was running around being like, I'm lightning, bang, pow, that sells.
Yeah.
Just like Hulk Hogan's, yes, that is what the audience wants. Do you think yes is not hitting the ground, and it rescues your body? Your body gets a big beating all the time. You need your character to balance out. Whoever you are going to be that person. And it's always an extension of who you are. When I'm talking to you, I'm like trying to be myself as much as I can, because who you are is who the audience will love. Be who you are, and then incorporate it into your character. And for God's sakes, I get so sick of the girls wearing matching, like I'm the bad guy, she's the good guy, whatever, the good guy, bad guy, and you could take their costumes, switch them, and it would still be the same. I'm the good. It doesn't. It's everybody's like drones, you know. Just find something that is so character driven and individuality. Even in the costuming, it's silly how everybody's like the same. It's
Cookie
like
cutter.
interchangeable. Yeah,
That's what I was
Don't you
saying.
miss that yourself?
Yeah,
You miss
yeah,
that
absolutely.
from the old WWE and
Yeah.
the specific characters, you know, and they were specifically somebody. Or it's hard not to. Everybody wants to be like the powerhouse
See, I have
sporty
that
person,
argument
or
as
they
well.
want to be the Hollywood rock and roll type. Find something individual, you know.
Right. And that's, it's funny you should say that, because like I hate cookie cutter wrestlers, and a lot of old school promoters or managers like Jim Cornette or someone hates the cookie cutter thing. But then again, when somebody creates a character like Orange Cassidy or Danhausen, they rip on it, and I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me, because to me, Orange Cassidy, yeah, it's a very unique character, and it doesn't make sense for old school wrestling, but people know who he is because he is this character. People know who Danhausen is because he is a character. The reason Danhausen made it big is because of the character. If he never put that face paint on and just continued to wrestle the way he did, years before he did that, he wouldn't be in AEW. And so that advice that you have is the most sound advice I've heard in a while. I 100% agree with that.
Bigger, that you got to be bigger than life, and you have to have a direction. Before I was Lightning, we did mini matches. All the girls were named but me, right? They didn't, and Thunder wasn't there yet, and they didn't know what they were going to do with me. I thought, oh, I'm going to get kicked out of Glow because I don't have a name. And I wrestled the matches with whoever, but I wasn't anybody, and I got yelled at for not having a character. I'm like, I don't have it. You got to give me a character so I can have a character, you know. But the next time I did a mini match, I ran around. I'm like, well, I'm a trainer. I'm a lift bodybuilder. I'm like, I ran around and I'm like between every bam, 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 you know, and I don't. I didn't know what I was. It's hard if you don't know. That's a big deal. You got to discover who you are going to be, and that will make you bloom in the ring and just be this. You can just dig and dig. It's like a character on a movie or a TV show. The ones you love are the ones that just get right into that character. And you don't necessarily have to be a heel. It's actually much harder to be a baby than a heel. I do understand that. Because the heels, they can get dirty and nasty and they can go everywhere. And a baby has this box they have to,
Very much so.
not be, yes. And I don't like the gray area either, when people are in gray area.
Yeah.
Like good guys are bad guys and bad guys are good guys. It's like
no tweeners.
it's like just yes, be for me, I'm old school. I won't cheat in the ring, but if somebody's dishing it out to me, I'll go at them then. It's like they have to cheat and then I'll get back at them. I'm like, fine. It's like a level in the audience watching. It's like the audience will pop if all of a sudden that's
the good guy
it.
does something that's dirty.
The last straw on the camel's back. I don't care if I'm a good guy. I'm gonna go at do the dirty tricks. You like that? You pull hair. I'm gonna pull hair. But it has to be a build up to that. I can't be running around acting like a heel as a baby. Is that you understand that, right?
Mm-hmm. I 100% agree with you. I've been a wrestling manager for going on 13 years. So like I'm old. I'm very old school Memphis style manager. So I know exactly what when it comes to. There's good guys and there's bad guys, and the good guy, to me, a good guy should be the majority of the match be getting beat down, trying to get that crowd behind them so that they, turn around and become, get the crowd behind them, and then they pull off the win. There's so many and my wife and I talk about this. We watch AEW more than we do WWE. Don't know why, because it makes me mad. But she never watched wrestling until she got with me. Now she watches it, and she's more critical of it than me. She's like, "Who's the good guy and who's the bad guy in this match? Who's the baby? Who's the heel?" And I'm like, I couldn't tell you, because there is no.
The interchangeable costumes and names, that doesn't help. I mean, at least if you gave the villain a villain name and the baby a baby name, I don't know. It's just too interchangeable.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The other thing I do like about heels is the ones that are really good, like Nanuchka is a good example. I mean, there's a billion examples, but they have to make the audience love to hate them. It has, it's not about hating them. It's like I could be given this character that I don't like, and I don't want to be this bad person. But if they love to hate you, then you're doing your job.
Very real.
It's like, oh God, it's like the guy with the hat with the mustache, the
Dastardly Whiplash,
or the mad scientist. It's like, yeah.
I love it. Love it so
You gotta for the ones who want to be heels, okay? You may not be a heel, you may suck at it, or you may not be a baby. I've actually been a heel too on indie stuff, and I was a heel. I turned heel on the pay-per-view. Hollywood corrupted my ass. Okay,
love it.
So
love it.
But the more I learned the more I became a seasoned wrestler, the more I had the ability to be a heel. You know what I mean? To get into that. And the problem with me in the beginning, when I started Glow, I was from the beach. I grew up in Redondo Beach, and everything was the F-bomb. I don't know, can I cuss on here? You guys gonna bleep it out. It was fucking A, dude. This is hot. Check out the waves. It was like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. The F word, cuss words were like and. That's fucking cool, dude. That's so fucking cool, dude. Or that's fucked, man. It's like the word was in every sentence,
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when I was trying to like come up with bad words to say or heel words, it's really hard. A good heel will be clever and will never spit out one cuss word. That's how I grew up. So I'm like tongue-tied because I want to use the F word in between every sentence. It's hard for me sometimes.
Absolutely.
Even to this day, I'm trying to be this goody two-shoe lightning, and I'm like, dang, darn,
shucky darn
it. It's like, oh darn, but that isn't the word. 50 bad words popped into my head first. Mm-hmm. Not only was I a total stoner beach girl, I was also a drummer and hanging out with a bunch of rockers, heavy metal, hard rock type scene too. So
nice. Well,
which is a lot of guys with those bombs,
Yeah. I want to say on behalf of Brian and myself, thank you so much for coming on today. I
know, thank you. I'm sorry I ramble. I'm so
I'm a rambler too. We if you we would love to do a part 2 with you sometime if you're interested. We could talk more.
That would be fun. Sure. I enjoy when people don't ask me the same questions. The questions you get all the time that are just
repetitive.
Repeat, and then I get tired. It makes me tired. I'm sure it makes all the Glow Girls tired when you when you get the same and nothing new, you know. So
Yeah.
you guys were fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and yeah, for sure. Would love to. We have other shows that we do. We do, of course, Glow Up. Then we have Developmentally Speaking. We also have one called Connecting Through Wrestling. And I think what we would like to bring you on
For what you,
We have-
some of what you say, some of what you've been saying has been breaking up
I'm
a little.
so sorry.
So slow that down again.
Okay, we have this show. We have another show called Developmentally Speaking, which is our bread and butter main show, and then we have
Called developmental.
Developmentally Speaking. Talks about
There it is.
developmental
I heard it.
territories. But we also have a show called Connecting Through Wrestling, and I feel like we could do that, and we could talk about more of your indie wrestling, or even your stunt work, because I would love to know more about that.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
I've been doing stunts for a long time.
That's fabulous.
Wrestling really did. Yeah.
That's so cool. So
I just worked on I was just in North Carolina on a werewolf movie.
that's really cool.
Yeah, that's the last thing I just did.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again. On behalf of Brian and myself, thank you for doing Glow Up. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Have a great one.
Me too.
Hey, everybody, it's Morty.
It's Brian.
And thank you for watching today's episode of Developmentally Speaking.
If you could, please click that subscribe button.
And don't forget to punch that bell icon so you can get notified whenever we go live or drop a new video every Monday. Well, thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you on the next
Developmentally Speaking.